a people like that are going to come out of what they're in, because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, if I didn't take you to a history of us beyond this 6,000 years, the knowledge that you've gained in this 6,000 years could never help you to see into your reality. So he had to take us beyond the 6,000 year period. Now we got to know, I just saw Caucasian scientists on saying that the dinosaur was so many millions of years old, but here these people had taught us that all creation started 6,000 years ago.
Right. Go ahead.
So when you start asking them, well, wait a minute now, there's some history that goes beyond this 6,000 year period, they told us, oh, that's the prehistoric age.
Go ahead.
And at this time, man was completely undeveloped, and giant lizards were ruling the planet.
Go ahead.
Dinosaurs. Well, we weren't here, and we had no other teachers but them.
Come on.
So we believed them. Then somebody's going to get smart sooner or later. Well, where are the dinosaurs? Oh, they all died. How? Ice Age. You know how long an age is? So the whole earth of that time, they're covered with ice, and these creatures, big as they are, they couldn't survive it, and they died. So a big creature like that dies out to the point of extinction, but the roach made it.
Go ahead.
Come on now, let's.
Come on, brother. That's real talk.
Huh?
Roach.
Why is the roach still here?
Good question.
This must be a powerfully fantastic creature. Great big T-Rex dies, and the roach made it. Looked like every creature would have died, along with these big creatures, and none of them had babies, so you have none of them alive now. Then there was this man who was undeveloped, so he's called the caveman, right? And you go to the natural history museums, you can see the little mannequins are made up of cavemen. I didn't pay attention in grade school going to class trips to these museums, so I didn't pay attention. None of the cave people had a fro.
Come on, go ahead.
Then I got to thinking, they never showed any black people. See, if you showed black people, then we say, we was here.
Yeah, right.
You got to show yourself as being the progenitor of people. We didn't know that they came. Now, we talked about the genetic history. We didn't know they came from a recessive gene.
Right.
And a recessive gene cannot produce a dominant creature.
Teach.
So our consciousness has been baked in lies. And when somebody wakes you up from a deep sleep that you never set the clock to be awakened.
Come on now.
Sometimes you don't like being awakened. So let's face it, everybody don't like this message.
Say that. That's right.
But the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said it is a wake-up message. And if it's a wake-up message, it wakes up everyone that was asleep. And when you finally wake up from sleep and go to the mirror, you're not trying to see what you look like. You're trying to see what did sleep do to you. When you fall asleep, you hardly ever wake up in the same position.
Right.
So by the time we were awakened to our true condition, we saw that we were at the bottom of this man's civilization.
Real
So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had to take us way back to show us how this started. It did not start with Mr. Yaqub. It started with scientists. In the scriptures, they're called angels.
Yes, sir.
And these highly wise people saw something of a germ of weakness in the original man. They were determined to expose this weakness. Are you following me now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So some time passed, but they were determined. I wanted to look up some words. So the word determined says, having made a firm decision and being resolved not to change it.
Teach.
That's why the Bible says a double-minded man is unstable. Nobody that's double-minded should be in leadership.
Say that.
Because you're always making a decision, and by the time you go to sleep, well, I rethought this.
Right.
People who overthink things don't belong in leadership because the people end up unstable like they are.
Teach. Teach. Real talk.
The leadership of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is not a double-minded man.
Go ahead, brother.
Huh?
Real talk.
If you listen to him from the 60s and the 70s,
Right.
you can listen to him tomorrow and he'll be consistent.
Big time. That's right.
Why? Because he's resolved.
Yes, sir.
Once you're walking in the light of God, all you got to do is compare your thinking with God's thinking.
Come on now.
You don't have to change your mind. You only have to change your mind when you're relying on yourself.
Say that. Come on. Come on.
But when you think of something
Yes, sir.
and you relay it to God's word, you don't have to change your mind. Why would the Bible say a double-minded man is unstable? Because the double-minded man is not walking in accordance with the guidance of God.
That's right.
He's got to change his mind. And he got to keep changing his mind. And as long as you changing your mind, you can't move forward. Not in life.
Right.
Now look, so they were determined, and what they needed was a vessel that would carry their determination.
That's right.
So this Department of Supreme Wisdom, which the FBI had back in the 40s,
Come on. Come on.
they couldn't do anything with it.
Right.
They got everybody else's paperwork, and they did something with it, but they couldn't do nothing with this.
Look at that.
It said, and so in the year 8400, he was born with a determined idea. Sometimes you'll read that as if he didn't determine it, he was born with what was already determined. They just needed a vessel to plant the idea in. So now this child is driven and determined to alter something that the originator has set up, an order of freedom, justice, and equality. He's going to erase that. But he needs a man. And he can't use the original man, but he got to start with him. There was no other man. He can't create a man. So the messenger said he had to come back to the same man.
Right.
I just got to change him.
Right. Look at that.
See, the FBI, they'll look for righteous people,
Yes, sir.
not in the street.
Come on. Go ahead.
They got to come in your mosque and look for him.
Right.
And then they say, I can't use him like he is.
Teach.
He got general orders. He got prayers. He got that. I got to flip him.
Come on.
And I got to graft him from that. Are y'all listening to me now?
You want it. Teach hard.
And I got to make sure my determination is greater than his determination to stay an FOI.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You want it. Right on.
We had a brother, and they hadn't seen him in a few weeks. So somebody said, well, let's go by his house. See how he's doing. Maybe something happened or something. And when they got to him, you know, he was tearful and everything. And he said, man, I just couldn't take it anymore. He got one mind studying the FOI, and he got another mind working for the FBI.
Look at that.
Double-minded.
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
And it was tearing him apart
Come on, Muhammad.
because you got two different worlds trying to live in one dark body.
Ooh, look at that. Good teaching.
So today's subject is self-determination.
Right.
Because the one thing that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad proved is that the man who came from the east unto the west was not double-minded.
No, sir.
Master Fard Muhammad, he knew his purpose and he knew what he needed. See, once you know where you're going in life, you know what can help you
Come on.
and you know what can't help you.
Come on.
You know who can help you and you know who can't help you.
Right. Give it.
Now, you may try a lot of people. That's what a scientist does.
Yes, sir.
But you got to figure out who can help me and who can't. What can help me and what can't. So when this man came, he knew that this world had been produced out of the determination of one man.
Right. Right.
So he had to have within himself a greater determination if he's going to alter what Mr. Yaqub's world has set up. Yaqub produced his children to exercise power and force over their own world. So as far as we're concerned, he made them gods over their own world. They're not looking for a God. As far as they're concerned for their world, they are the God. You don't ever see white folks saying, well, we're waiting on God to help us. They're somewhere digging, building, flying, doing something. But whatever the messenger said, whatever they craved, they went after it themselves.
Right. Right.
And in 4,000 years, I have to say, they've done a hell of a job.
Yes, sir.
But it comes out of being determined. And according to Webster's dictionary, determined is making a firm decision, being resolved. When you read their books on successful men, they say successful men are men who make decisions and don't change them.
Right.
They work what came to them and they move forward. Well, I don't know. I was thinking on it again. Well, keep thinking because other men are moving.
Teach. Teach.
Keep going over it. We'll be back next year. Maybe you'll be finished thinking it over. So this one that comes, Master Fard Muhammad, it is said that he would come and destroy their civilization in a day. Now the days, or a day with God is 1,000 years unto men. So we're in what's called the seventh day.
Right.
And this man comes, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, early on the seventh day. And so early has he come to break us from our sleep that his name corresponds with the Fajr prayer.
Teach.
Why? Because the Fajr prayer calls on us to break our sleep,
Right.
which is a God, right?
That's right. Go ahead.
To stand up and call on your God. So he comes with a determination to erase the darkness from us. Look what he says to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He knows he's determined. He know the man can't do nothing with him. Then he tells the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Elijah, I will only accept myself in them.
Wow. Look at that. Look at that.
So when I look at those words and look at him and the man who he made all into himself, and their student and servant, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, I see determination.
Yes, sir.
What do you see?
Yes, sir.
And I see determination and a resolve not to change.
Right.
Even if they try to accuse him of changing. If he was changing, the power that was with him when he first stood up wouldn't be with him now.
That's right.
But it's greater even than it was when he first stood up with a determination. And so if that kind of determination is the only thing that this one who came from the east to the west will accept from me, then I have to be self-determined.
That's right.
The white man don't mind you having some idea of things, but if you not real committed and not real dedicated, he don't have to worry about you. You're not going to build nothing that's going to be no threat to him.
Right.
We've always been taught that when they got us under surveillance, they've stopped worrying about revolutionary messages. When you preaching to a people that ain't never gonna do nothing about it anyway. In fact, they'll let you hold your meetings because you ain't determined.